everyone, it's Andy here. I was asked to make my next video with the stories from Hob, a softly spoken one instead of a whispering one. So that's why I'm not whispering in this one. Okay, if we just start, I'm going to read another few stories for you. Oh, just quickly, this blanket I've got today, this is one my grandmother hand crocheted. It was always on my granddad's chair when he was alive. And when my grandmother moved into a sheltered accommodation scheme, I had the blanket, so it's a very special blanket for me, because I remember when I was a little boy playing, hung it over two chairs to make like a tent and things. So it just makes you think of staying with my Mungie and Dickie, my grandmother and my granddad, when I was little. Okay, so the first story you've got today is Hob Underbelly, who sent a card to Hob one winter in snow when Christmas comes to people. Was it friend Lob? Does Hob live here? The postman asks. Yes, says boy and girl. What nonsense then, says Mr. Mrs. says the children have their fun and baby says happy bubble and Budgie sings a carol. Boy puts the card for Hob in Hob's place, his cutch or den. He sleeps by day and keeps the house by night. Well, says Hob when he wakes up, time has remembered me, and reads his card to Budgie. It is all Hobbish words. Budgie sings Budgie words to Hob. Hob goes to see what has gone on that day. He finds parcels not for him. He finds trimmings on a tree, paper chains across the room and holly by the wall. Give us a kiss, says Budgie, underneath the mistletoe. Hob makes a face at her. He is looking for something that should be there. The people had been nearly happy as they made Christmas ready, but not quite so. Something had made them sad. Hob finds the sad. It is hiding by the fireside, a miserable lump, padding up and down on four small legs. I feel so flat, it says, so sad. It's my work, I know, but I don't like it. Tell Hob what it has to do, says Hob. Hob has to know. Oh, says Sad, look on the table. I see there flour and milk, egg and sugar, yeast and currants. That's work for Hob to do. By the fire they leave rewards. Hob don't care for salt and stitches. He's off in a moment if you give him breeches. I see an egg on the table. It's not for him, but Hob loves an egg. It's all for me, says Sad. I make bread hard and cake sink in the middle, and nothing will cure me. Tomorrow they have Christmas, says Hob. Have you tried dancing, little Sad? I tried on my own feet, says Sad. Have you sang a song? Yes, but I bit my tongue. Hob climbs to his cutch. He brings out a wooden flute and a wooden spoon. First he takes the wooden spoon. This is his work. He mixes egg and milk and sugar, flour, fat and fruit. A waste of time, says Sad. Time sent me a card, says Hob. Jump in, Sad. My stirring's nearly done. Sad holds his breath and tumbles in. I'll spoil your work, he says. Hob plays the flute. The dough moves and rises, lifts itself and swings about. Oh, I am charmed, says Sad. I am cured. And the dough comes high in the bowl and smiles. Hob pops it in the oven to be ready in the morning. They'll want a turkey too, he says to Budgie, who sulks at him. Hob has his reward, a stocking with an apple. He reads his card. It says, Happy wishes, Hob New Year. Hob and Black Dog. Girl keeps her room tidy, sweeps her floor, washes her face. She finds sixpence in her shoe. It's my reward for being clean, she says. I got it from our Hob. Someone dropped it, I dare say, says Mr. Mrs. says, children love a game. Hob says. Hob's turn to give rewards. Hob will have a present specially from me, says girl. I'll make it or I'll buy. Hob hopes she does not make mistakes and give him clothes to wear. If she did, he would have to leave. He likes to live and work here. Dress him and he leaves his labour. Hob will find another neighbour, says Hob. Budgie says goodbye perhaps. Boy comes in with stray black dog. I found him walking down the path, he says. He has no collar, no tag, no home. Black Dog licks his hand. Black Dog will not come near the fire. Hob wonders why, says Hob. Budgie sings, perhaps it's Lob. Hob looks again. Lob is black, he says, but Lob is Hob's friend. I think this is Black Dog. Black Dog stays in the shadow. He looks, he stares. Mrs. says he ought to go outside, but Black Dog sits and looks. Black Dog has got in, says Hob. Hob will think. Black Dog will not eat or drink. He will not go out. I wish I had not brought him in, says Boy, but he walked so quietly along with me, so lost. Black Dog lies in the shadows under the table. He should be in a kennel, says Mrs. Hob isn't sure of that, says Hob. Black Dog licks Girl's hand. What a dry lick, says Girl. In the dark I almost see through him. Black Dog is a pair of eyes. He looks at everyone. Budgie is so alarmed she puts her head in the water pot. There's dogs and dogs, says Hob, black and blacker. The people go to bed. Black Dog stays under the table. Leave it to Hob, says Girl. Leave it to Hob, says Boy. Leave it to Hob, says Hob. Hob sets to work. It is not hard for him. He takes a strap and makes a collar. He has another sixpence and he hangs that on. Then he puts the collar on Black Dog. Black Dog licks Hob, blinks his eyes, and says that now he'll dressed, he'll go. It's the same for you as it is for Hob, says Hob. Hob opens the door. Black Dog goes to do his work, to help people across the street, to make sure they find their way, to keep travellers safe in rocky places. That's that, says Hob, shutting the door. Come out, Budgie. Budgie comes out. Budgie barks. Just like home, says Hob. He finds the reward Girl left him, a candy stick. He takes it to his cutyaw den to eat it. In the house there are only shadows with no eyes. Hob and the Strange Baby. Who rocks Baby's cradle when no one is in the room? It's Hob, says Baby. But even Hob doesn't understand his words. It's Hob, says Budgie. But even Budgie doesn't understand her words. It's Hob, say Boy and Girl, but no one believes it. Hob does, says Hob. Hob likes Baby. I wonder why, because it isn't any use. No better than Budgie. Budgie scowls. Hob rocks the cradle. Baby sings. Hob gets his reward by the fireside each night, and hopes he is never given clothes. Never give him leather or thread, or into the weather he will tread. Baby does not always sing. I hope he's well, says Hob. Perhaps his teeth are growing, says Mrs. Baby doesn't need teeth, says Hob, and has a look. He opens Baby's mouth. His teeth are big, says Hob, taking his fingers away. He rocks the cradle. Baby snores. Baby is a little strange, says Girl, not himself. He's growing long, says Mrs. He's not quite so fat. He's still bald, says Boy. That's how he was born, says Mrs. He's eating quite a lot, says Mister. Day and night, night and day. Hob has another look. Baby has a look at him. Baby looks too hard at Hob, says Hob. Maybe Hob looked too hard at him. No, Baby does not sing at all. Baby complains. He shrieks when Budgie sings. That's sensible, says Hob, but strange. He looks at Baby's feet. They are long and skinny, leathery and brown, and rather worn. Hob wonders, says Hob. Hob does. That night, Hob is sure he sees smoke rising from the cradle. He creeps across, and there is Baby smoking Hob's best pipe. Puff, puff. This is a changeling, says Hob. I'll send it back and get the proper Baby. Now what can do the trick? He finds his nightly gift. It is an egg. Hob loves an egg, he says, and tonight most of all. First he breaks the egg and eats the yolk and white. Then he draws the fire up and makes it warm. He says out loud, for Changeling to hear, "We'll have a pot of tea. How would you like that?" Changeling pretends to be Baby. He does not want to be found out. But Hob knows how to send Changeling home. Hob puts water in the egg shells and stands them on the fire. He stands the big teapot in the hearth. In a minute, says Hob. There'll be plenty for all. Nonsense, says the changeling. In all my long life I never saw tea made in eggshells. Up you get, says Hob. You have been found out. And the changeling jumps from the cradle and goes up the chimney, taking Hob's best pipe with him. A moment later, Baby knocks at the door. Hob brings him in and rocks his cradle. Baby sings. That's that, says Hob. Hob knows a thing or two. So I hope you enjoyed these 3 stories again. I really, really love this book, and it's really good fun reading them because I've not read them in such a long time. Okay, see you soon.